Hi, we're here at Benton Family Farms, and I'm here to interview Mary Benton Markham and to find out about her farm, and about all the school tours that come here. Today on People of Northern Kentucky. Well, welcome to People of Northern Kentucky, Farmer Mary.
Thank you very much.
So a friend of yours said you have just got to interview Farmer Mary, that she does such great tours for kids here. She had just come back from a school tour. But before we get into the school tours and all, tell me a little bit about your family, because Benton Farms is what, a fourth generation?
Yes, fourth
farm?
generation. My sons are the fourth generation. I'm the third generation. And my father came here when he was 10 years old. That was back in 1942.
Wow.
So we always reference to the children, you know, what year it is now and how long that was. You know, and 70 years is a long time to be somewhere.
Yes, it is.
So he loved this land. He took care of this land, and he made sure this land is going to be here to stay. So.
That's awesome. What did he start out growing or
Well, he was
raising here?
Of course, Kentucky is known for their tobacco.
Oh, yep.
Back in the day.
Yep.
And so this was a tobacco farm,
Okay.
cattle farm, hay, corn, soybeans, all that kind of stuff.
All right. So that's how you started out. But now, what do you have here now?
Well, as my mom and dad got a little bit older, and my brothers went off to college, you kind of lose your help. And I'm the youngest. So I was 4 or 5 years behind them. And my dad got hurt, had a heart attack, got down by a bull. I mean, there's a lot of things that farming is not, you know, it's not the safest career in the world.
Right.
And so they sold off. We had about 90 head of Santa Gertrudis cattle. And we were always in 4-H. Mom and Dad made sure that, and they volunteered for over 33 years, even after we were out of, you know, when we were in college. But after my brothers left and he had that heart attack, he sold off the cattle, and the tobacco was bought out. You know, they had a buyout program, and they didn't want the Kentucky farmers raising it anymore. And so Mom and Dad were always going to seminars. They loved that, UK. They were so involved in 4-H, and that's where they got to go to those things. And they said, we think you should start growing Christmas trees and pumpkins, you know, and do you pick. And they're like, okay, you know, we can do that, because, you know, your dad can do that, and your mom was really on board with it. And well, Christmas trees, that was it takes 8 years for a Christmas tree to grow.
Oh, yeah.
So that wasn't too good of an ideal. So we have about 8 acres of trees out here that are still standing and probably 25 foot tall.
Oh, goodness.
So we sold a few, but
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't something that you were gonna.
Wasn't a fast money maker for sure. Yeah.
So the raising the pumpkins, that kind of started, and then Mom got this call from a local school. It was Ackerman and Florence Elementary, you know, back then, and it started out with 50 kids each year. She had a little spiral notebook, and that's how she would take the calls, you know, when you had, nobody had cell phones back then, you know. So it was the landline, and 2 or 3 years went on, and the number just kept growing. And all they were they wanted a hayride, they wanted to go out in the field and pick the pumpkin, you know, and see a few animals. So we have developed that program to where we're doing a little bit more than that. But it got too much for my mom, because, you know, it got up to thousands of kids wanting to come out.
Wow.
So my brother took that over, put everything on spreadsheets, and he was able to, I was in Lexington at the time. So he was here, and he was able to manage that and develop the program more. So where they came out and they got to milk a cow, you know.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, they got to go in and gather the chicken eggs. And you have to explain to them what they're doing. They don't know. So
Because
now,
so many of these kids have never even seen the animals or been on a farm
no,
before.
and
Yeah.
we're not like a petting zoo at all. You know, it's all hands on, and the teachers love that we grow the pumpkins here, and they get to pull them off the vine. You know, so it's not just out in a little field where there's some pumpkins. It's a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
The teachers really want them to know where that pumpkin comes from. And we do, and then we added a honeybee demonstration, because without the bees, we wouldn't have pumpkins. But I always tell the kids, I'm the new beekeeper. We do a live little talk to them for about 8 or 9 minutes. And we have Farmer Stan. I'd come out for the last 25 years. That's a long time.
Yes, it is.
And he is getting older, and he said, I think you can handle it, Farmer Mary. And so I did. I started taking it over, and this year, and I've enjoyed it. The kids just are just listening to you. We have a little place where they all sit down, and I show them all the equipment. And so we put a lot more factors into it. And then when I was able to move back here in 91, 92, my brother kind of handed it over to me, because I had more time. And
But this is not your only job,
No.
right? This is
this
part
is
of your job. You have a whole nother career.
yeah,
besides
this is my dream job, if it actually had a salary to it. But but no, I'm a registered dietitian
Okay.
in long-term care, and so I've been working at nursing homes all across Kentucky, and I work at a nursing home in Paris for the last 21 years.
Isn't that typical of farmers nowadays? That typically have to have
It's typical.
another job.
Yes, and it was typical of my father.
Mm.
My father built houses.
Mm.
He poured concrete. He did whatever it took, and that was years ago.
Right.
So my son, who's the 4th generation, he is a sheep farmer,
Oh, wow.
but he also is a firefighter and an EMT.
Okay.
And, at 23, you can do that. But I said,
You mean you have the energy to do that?
when you have a family,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to support your family, unfortunately, on your sheep.
Yes.
Just that.
Isn't that sad that that's true? That now
Yeah.
if you want to stay in the farming
And when you love something.
business, you have to support it
Yeah.
with something else. Yeah.
And he has the passion just like his
Aw.
papa.
That's awesome.
So,
Down to 4 generations still have that passion for
yeah,
farming.
both my sons do. Both my sons do.
That's awesome. Now, how many brothers and sisters?
I have
did
2
you-
brothers.
2 brothers. And are both of them involved at all?
No,
now?
we kind of, everybody kind of goes different ways. But
At different times, because one of them was here for a
Right,
while. Yeah.
right. And at one time we all helped
Okay.
back when we first started out, back in, 28 years ago, we were all out here, and everybody was driving up every weekend, all families and friends, you'd get them to come out to help. Now we have volunteers.
Okay.
So, and I have like 17 volunteers that I can absolutely depend on.
To help you when the
Yes.
school kids come.
Well, more so when we have an event.
Oh, okay.
We have like an Easter event, a spring day. We're having pumpkin days next weekend.
Oh, okay. Now, what
And
do you do at something like Pumpkin Days?
Pumpkin Days is basically a school tour, but it's open to the public.
Okay.
And we have gotten away. This is a big thing for us. We normally do 5 weekends.
Mm-hmm.
We would do every weekend. Everybody came to get your pumpkin. And last year we did 2 weekends, and this year we're down to 1.
Oh.
Reason being, where have I spent my life for the last, almost, 30 years? Every fall is here. And there's lots of pumpkin farms now. But what we do, it is all agricultural education.
That's awesome.
Okay, there's a difference. There's agritainment, and there's agritourism, and there's agricultural education.
And tell me the difference.
Agritainment is where, and that's not what you're going to find here next weekend if you came out to the farm, okay? We're going to take you on a hay ride, and we're going to take you to get your pumpkin. You're going to go milk a cow. You're going to go in the chicken house. The girls are going to show you how to shear a sheep. You're going to feed the animals. Those are the type of things you're going to do, okay? Now, at a lot of farms, you know, there'll be face painting and there'll be like crafts and things like that. And they've gotten to the point where they're put in playgrounds. And we never wanted to commercialize. That was one of the things. Mom and Dad never wanted the farm commercialized. And so what you see here,
it's the farm.
It's the farm. And that's the way it's going to be. So we don't open up those 5 weekends. And we will have, our parking lot will be full and bursting over, you know. But we will have those, like I said, those 17 volunteers, their eyes, they help, and, you know.
That's cool. Now, what do you do, like, say, at the Easter thing that you have
It's an
here?
educational event.
Same kind of thing?
Yep. And we have an indoor gathering room.
Oh.
That was one of my dad's last projects that he put up. And so we can actually have the animals inside.
Oh, okay.
And then we throw an Easter twist to it. You know, we call it Country Easter down on the farm. And so we've got that's all the spring babies. We've got chickens, baby chicks, baby rabbits, baby lambs, baby goats. So it depending on if the sun is out, then we can be outside in front of the building. And the cars just come in. Every year it just grows.
That's awesome.
I think this year was the 4th year.
Well, tell me, the school tours that come in, what is the response of the children that come here?
They absolutely love it, and it's not just the kids, it's the parents too.
Oh, okay.
So we're actually teaching the children and the parents, the chaperones that come along, and the teachers. And our buses come in, and we like to keep them on the bus. We have a lot of inner city schools coming.
So downtown Cincinnati type thing? So those kids don't even see green patches, much less a farm. Yeah.
They see more grass here than I think they've ever seen in their life.
Yes.
So we keep them on the bus, and you know, give them a few rules, and you know, tell them kind of what they're gonna do, and they're ready. They're ready to get off that bus. And then once every farmer, you know, I'm Farmer Mary, so if you get my class, I take a class, and then we go on a tour.
And they get to milk a cow, and they get to actually pick pumpkins and touch animals and things.
And depending on the age group, you know, we have preschoolers, first grade, kindergarten. This week we had 4th graders. I mean, we absolutely loved it because we were able to even educate even further, you know.
What do you educate for the older ones?
Well, you can go into more of the you know, they'll ask you, what's that ear tag for, you know? And we can actually show them.
Oh, okay.
And we actually do a demonstration. We put an ear tag in. It's just like getting an earring, we tell them, and we show them that it doesn't hurt. You know, we can actually show them, give them shots. So it's something we wouldn't do with the littler kids.
Go into more of the details of what it means to be a farmer. Oh, that's so cool.
Yep. And one of the things with the milk cow, when we do our demonstration down at the dairy barn, is we make sure that they know the difference between a dairy cow and a beef cow. The biggest thing now, the last couple of years, we've been focusing on, where does your food come from?
Right.
So
not in just little packages that you pick up in the store.
Before you leave here, you know, even if you're a preschooler, I will make sure that you know where milk comes from. I'm going to show you where milk comes from. And, you know, you're going to get to try. You might be a little bit shy at first, but usually I can get them all to come over. It's a very nice environment, and then the cow is standing here, and she's quiet and very patient cow.
Oh, good.
To put up with 100 kids.
Right.
And then we'll go on to shearing a sheep. And, you know, and I show them the old clipper. I show them the old shears. I said, you know, these were my dad's. And you had to do it all by hand. You know, so I tell them, you know, think about if you had 100 sheep. And they're always like, oh my gosh, you know, how much work that was. But
now your hand would hurt.
Yeah, and when that was farming.
Yes.
And you didn't think anything about it. And, you know, I said it, like with the cow milking, I said, this is fun, But what if you had to fill the whole bucket up, like Farmer Mary had to,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that the cow didn't kick it over,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure it got up to the house, because we depended on that milk. So they know where the milk comes from. They know when we take them in the chicken house, we show them a carton, just like, and we say, you get your eggs at the store, but where do they actually come from?
Mm-hmm.
They do not understand the whole chicken house and the nesting boxes and how the chicken gets inside the box,
Right.
and
Eggs,
lays the
eggs come
egg.
from the grocery store, right?
Yeah. So, and we focus on those things, farm to table.
Awesome.
And then if they're kindergartners in first grade, then we also talk about, we go see the pigs behind the barn. And we talk about different types of pigs, that this is a mother pig and she's going to be having the babies. But this other pig here, where does pork come from? We say, where's your bacon come from? So we teach them that.
That's neat.
So, because
Yeah.
they don't know.
Right. Right.
And we tell them about our milk cow again. We say, now she's only here for milk. A cow can live for 25 years, And,
And they probably don't even understand they have to keep having babies
yes,
to have milk.
right.
Yes.
And then we get a lot of questions like that.
Yeah.
And we have a baby calf right now, and they're like, well, can we milk her? I'm like, no, we have to wait till she actually has a calf and
Yes.
that's 2 years old, So we can go, it just depends. Every class is different. That's what's so great about getting your own class and getting to take them around.
So cool. Well, that sounds really neat. That sounds like something that's not done too much today in schools. Some education that you just can't get usually sitting in the classroom. So you fill a great niche here with this farm.
Mhm.
So you said something about summer day camps?
Summer day camp, we started about 11 years ago. I started with 12 kids. And I got the ideal the same way my mother and father started raising pumpkins. I went on a Farm Bureau seminar where they take you for 2 days on a bus. It's great. You get to go to all these different farms.
Oh, and see what they're doing.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I was in Tennessee, and I saw they had this summer camp, a farm camp,
Mm-hmm.
and I absolutely fell in love with it.
Oh, neat.
And so that was my project, and my dad's like, go for it. And so we started out with a couple weeks, and each year it just grew and grew. And I actually have had a young lady who started with me when she was 9 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and she actually started to. You become you're a camper, and then you want to be that junior counselor, and then you want to get a job and work for Farmer Mary.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So you're a senior counselor.
Yeah.
So I have counselors that are, seniors in high school and college. They're in college.
And they're ones that used to come to the camp.
Yeah, some of them are. And I have one young lady who is in Northern now, her second year, and now her little brother actually comes to my camp.
Oh.
Yep, he's 7 years old.
Neat. And so how many do you usually have in camp now?
Well, so as we started growing, we started having to add more weeks of summer camp. So figuring out the weeks, so we did like 2 weeks, and we did 3 weeks, and we went up to 4 weeks, and we're up to 4 weeks in this coming summer, just because we weren't able to handle the amount of kids. We were at 50 kids a week.
Wow. In
Yeah.
4 weeks.
In 4 weeks.
Ah, wow.
So, and to make it best for the college student, because that's who I'm hiring, we're going to make it a 6-week program.
Mm.
So it's perfect for them.
Mm-hmm.
The summer job, they get a week off for vacation with their family.
Right.
And then you only have usually 6 weeks to work, and you're back to school that first couple weeks of August.
Hmm.
So our camp is in June and July.
Okay.
And all my kids, it's word of mouth, but they just keep coming back and back, and they want that green shirt.
And that's what they get at a green shirt.
A junior counselor.
Oh, okay.
And they might be 12, but it's so neat to see them helping a 5-year-old. Because you get your own animal.
Oh, neat.
You get to wash it every day. You get to do anything. You get to shear it.
So you get a true farming experience when you come to
Yes.
the day camp.
Yes, you get to walk it, and they'll go, Farmer Mary, can I walk my sheep one more time? And I'm like, you sure can, you know. So they walk it on the road,
Aw.
and on Friday, and we had to actually move it up to our big barn. But all the parents and now grandparents, we had over 75 people come. We had to have a microphone, and all the kids get up. They come up and they dress their animal up. We based it on 4-H.
Yeah.
We based it on the whole 4-H program because 4-H for me was learning about getting out in the show ring and going to speeches, doing demonstrations. My mother and father had me in everything, but you know, we could do. And because we lived out on a farm, I didn't have, you know, neighbors, friends that I could just run over and play with. There wasn't anything out here.
So 4-H was the social
4-H
part
was
of
your
it too.
social, yeah, at that time. And so the kids, they all, their mom and dad, and I feel bad because, you know, they have to take off for work because this is the show at 2 o'clock, you know. And they're all there, and you know, you might have the shyest kid on Monday morning, but by Friday, they're actually say, hey, this is Dave, this is my goat, you know, he's 10 years old, you know, and then we'll ask him a few questions, you know, and have you had fun? Oh yeah, you know, and Dave's been super to work with, you know,
Aw.
and the parents are like, wow, my child's speaking, and
That's really neat.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's a ratio of 5 to 6 kids to 1 college counselor. So it's, and we play it kind of like Survivor. Everybody's bandanas. You're red team, green team,
They're on
blue
teams.
teams, and yeah, it's a lot of team competitions, and it gets hot. So we have games. We do a lot of water balloons, and but they really just want to hold their animals.
Oh.
So there's nothing better than holding a baby goat.
Yes, I could see that.
And my parents are wanting to know when I'm going to have an adult day.
Oh.
I'm asked that question all
Well,
the time.
I could see
An
some
adult-
adults wanting to do that. Yeah.
An adult
yeah.
Saturday camp. So
Aw. Well, now you also have a trailer sitting out over here. It's a Benton Farm decorated
Right.
trailer. Can you tell me why do you have that? What's that for?
well, we have so many children, and when the economy kind of took a hit, you know, we had so many field trips that just couldn't happen.
No, not enough money
No.
for them to bus them over here.
Even our normal kids just couldn't come out. So with this mobile trailer, we're able to take all of our animals that we need to take, and we can take our shearing table, we could shear the sheep, we take a goat that you can milk, and we just went to a nursing home last week,
Oh,
and they absolutely love it.
I could see that.
A school that can't afford to, you know, to actually get the busing is so expensive.
Yeah, I know that's what limits the field trips.
So that's why we got that trailer.
So you can go to them.
Mhm.
That's cool.
And so, and if they can't, a lot of them, if they can't afford to do it, we just go ahead and go.
That's neat.
That's just what we do.
Yeah. Now, did I hear you're a nonprofit now?
We are. In 2011, it took me 2 years. It was quite a process, and we became Benton Farms became Benton Family Farm. It had to change its name to become the nonprofit, and the reason we did that is, well, farming is not something that, you know, you're going to get rich on. And unfortunately, you know, but once it's in your blood, you just keep, you know, a lot of people say, why do you keep doing this? You know, you just go all the time. You just go, and you just don't know any better. You just do it. You know, I love it.
Yeah.
My sons, you know, they love it, and the people that come out here and volunteer, they wouldn't come out if they didn't love to come out here and do that. So going nonprofit enabled us to get community rewards from Kroger, get help from different organizations, get donations.
So you can keep the field trips
Yes.
going.
So
Yeah.
I can say, if you call up and you tell me, you know, our kids can only afford $3 a person, and I'll say, don't worry about it. You know, this company's going to cover it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and before we couldn't do that. So it's made the world of difference.
So it sounds like between your real job
My real job.
and here on the farm, you're pretty busy. But is there anything else that you like to do outside of this?
I do. I occasionally get away from the farm. I occasionally, my husband and I go camping. That's the only way we can get away.
Have like an RV or something?
We
that you
have,
go with?
yeah, and it's more like we glamp.
Oh, okay.
Even
yeah.
though I'm Farmer Mary,
Still like glamping
it's-
instead,
yes,
right?
and he takes me away from here,
Oh,
and I
nice.
can decompress and not think
Probably
about
need that
anything.
occasionally.
You
Yes,
do.
yes.
And the other thing I love to do is it's crazy, but I love to skydive.
So Farmer Mary skydives.
Yes,
All right.
Yes,
So
I
where do you
do.
go to do that?
in Warren County.
Okay.
Yep, Warren
Do
County.
you do it on your own, or you have friends that like to do it with, or
Not too many people actually want to jump out of a.
out of an airplane?
Like my husband says, a perfectly, working good plane.
Right.
So
to fling yourself out of.
I just
yeah.
went this summer though because my one of my young college girls that gives the horse lessons for our summer camp kids, she was just, oh, you got to go, you got to take me, you got to take me. So we went. So
Fun. How many times have you been?
Four.
skydiving?
Four.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yep.
That's something I don't see a farmer usually doing. Is
yeah, and
throwing
my
themselves out of a
actually-
plane.
and my mom actually said before she passed, she said, someday she'll probably skydive over this farm. So I'm working on that.
Are you going to do that?
I'm working on that.
I want to come back and hear about that.
Yes.
So thank you very much, not Miss Mary,
No.
but Farmer Mary.
That's right. That's right, Farmer Mary. My summer camp kids, that's what they call me, Farmer Mary. So
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Thank you for joining us today. Every Thursday at 10 a.m., get to know your neighbor by catching a new edition of People of Northern Kentucky.